Hi guys, Ben Parsons here. Today I'm going to do a video that I've wanted to do for a long time. It's show you my foreign film collection. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the films that, they're not spoken in English. That's how I'm going to sort of narrow it down, because there are a lot of foreign films that are spoken in English, but obviously they're foreign film productions. But I'm just going to show you my, non-English speaking films. Sort of narrows it down and sort of, it's easier for people to understand if it's foreign or not. I could talk about a lot of films that are foreign films, but they speak in English, and it would just sort of confuse people. And I would have loads of comments of people saying, "Well, you haven't got this foreign film, which is amazing," or "That's not a foreign film because it speaks in English," or something like that. So I've narrowed it down to just the non-English speaking movies in my collection, and I'm just going to show them to you. And please leave a comment down below and let me know if you've seen them, if you enjoy them, or ask any questions, and I will try and answer them. I'm going to sort of do this in sort of a bit of an order. I'm going to sort of lump into, my Spanish films together, my Japanese films together, and things like that. So there is a bit of a structure. But a lot of these films I haven't seen for a while, so I can't speak a lot about them because I have to sort of re-watch them. So I'm going to start off with the Japanese films. There aren't many, there are only two. The first one is Battle Royale, which is an amazing Japanese film. If you've seen the film Hunger Games, basically it's very similar to the original film. And obviously Hunger Games was based on this film. This was done before. This was in 2000 they brought this out. Absolutely amazing film. Basically about a group of school kids that are taken to, I think it's an island, and they're sort of let loose there, and they sort of have to, it's the last one alive, survive sort of thing. Very similar to Hunger Games. But yeah, the film is very brutal, but that's what I like about it. And obviously it's spoken in Japanese, but they do have English subtitles, and there's some really good performances in this film. Amazing film. Okay, and the second Japanese film is a film called Letters from Iwo Jima, directed by Clint Eastwood, and it stars Ken Watanabe. Great film. What it is basically is sort of like the other side of Flags of Our Fathers. Flags of Our Fathers is about the same sort of battle, the same war, and it's done in American, from the American side of things, and then this is the Japanese side. They're all speaking Japanese, and the way that they sort of saw the war and the special battle, obviously, on Iwo Jima. So yeah, if you like war films, you're going to absolutely love it. If you love Japanese films, you will really enjoy it. Some great performances, and it's great to see the Second World War and the Pacific from sort of a Japanese side of things. So yeah, really highly recommended. Can't speak today, it's so hot here in Spain. Okay, so I'll put those down there. The next one I'm going to do are my French films, if I can find them. Yeah. Obviously, the first one is going to be one that everyone knows about, or they've seen, or at least they've heard of, and it's Amélie, which for me, I know they say it's a masterpiece, but I have seen it twice, and I sort of don't really understand why critics say it's absolutely amazing. Very strange film, about this girl called Amélie, and her life and what she does during her life, trying to sort of bring two people together. And yeah, I haven't seen it at least for a year, but I'll have to give it rewatch it. But a very good film. I do recommend it, but it's not as good as sort of everyone's seen. Everyone raves about Amélie. You got to see it, and like most people got this in their collection. So yeah, Amélie. The next film is a war film. It's called Days of Glory. Basically, it is a French film, but the actors in it are from Algeria. Basically, it's about Algerian people who, went to France's aid during the Second World War, and obviously they were a French colony. France asked them for help, and I think about 130,000 soldiers from Algeria actually went and fought in the Second World War to defend France. And basically it's about the story of these young guys who sort of volunteer for a war that really isn't anything to do with them apart from they're obviously a French colony, and it's about their story and what they get up to and their sort of regiment of the Algerians. It's really interesting, and not a lot of people have spoken about it, so if you do like French films, check it out. And the last one is starring the amazing Vincent Cassel, and it's Mesrine. These are actually two films sort of lumped into one. The first one's called Kill Instinct, and the second one, Public Enemy Number One. And basically, Vincent Cassel is, portraying a very famous sort of mafia sort of type criminal, and basically it just follows him, his latter years of his life, and before he was caught. And I'm not going to tell you the ending because I don't want to spoil it, but basically Vincent Cassel gives a great performance, and then it shows the life of this criminal and what he did when he was young and how he got into crime, and what all the famous things he did while he was a criminal. So yeah, Mesrine is a really great film, highly recommended. Okay, next film is an Indonesian film, if I can find it. And this is another one that everyone's sort of seen, everyone's heard of, and this is The Raid, an amazing film. I don't really have to speak about it a lot. Amazing martial arts about, you know, a group of policemen, special policemen who go into a building to try and take down a criminal mastermind who sort of got control of the building, and everything goes wrong and they get trapped inside. Absolutely amazing. Really highly recommend it. The martial arts are absolutely amazing, and definitely check it out. Obviously, if you don't mind subtitle, because it's in Indonesian or Indonesian. I don't know. But there you go. The Raid. Absolutely amazing. I haven't seen the sequel yet, but I've heard that it's just as good. Okay, the next film is a Korean film. And this is also one that, you know, a lot of people have heard of. I'm sure you know what it is. It's I Saw the Devil. Absolutely amazing film. The direction in this is absolutely amazing. The cinematography is amazing, and the performances blew me away. You know, I hadn't seen this before I saw it. You know, a lot of people recommended it, and it took me a while to pick it up. And when I picked it up and saw it, you know, it's one of these films you think, why the hell didn't I pick it up earlier? Absolutely amazing performance. Obviously, it's in South Korean, but they have got the subtitles in English, and it's basically about a sort of maniac that sort of lives in South Korea, and he sort of kills people for fun, and, you know, tortures people for fun. And it's basically about, it's a revenge flick about a policeman who sort of wants to take him down because this maniac had, I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to spoil it, this maniac had done something to him, and it's like him trying to get his revenge back on this crazy man that just goes around killing people and doing bad things. But yeah, a very good film. Really enjoyed it, and the soundtrack was really good. You know, I'm sure a lot of people have recommended this anyway, but yeah, I'm going to recommend it again. I Saw the Devil. Okay. Next one, an Italian film. I've only got one Italian film, and it's probably one of the most famous, which is Life is Beautiful, starring Robert Benigni. He's also the director. Absolutely amazing film, so beautiful. Sorry. Basically, it's about Robert Benigni, who is, you know, a Jew. He falls in love with an Italian woman who's not a Jew, and obviously during the Second World War, when Italy joined forces with Germany. Well, they wanted all the Jews, you know what they wanted to do with the Jews. So he's taken away, and basically it's about his life with his son in a concentration camp, and the things that he does, you know, to try and hide, you know, the atrocities from his son. And he sort of says it's a game and things like that, and he hides his son. And basically the first part of the film was him falling in love with his wife, and the second part of the film was, you know, what he had to go through during the concentration camp to try and protect his son from the, you know, the horrors of, you know, the Holocaust. But a very good film. Absolutely amazing, and it's so much better when I think they have translated it into English if you want to hear it dubbed, but I would just put it in Italian because it's, you know, a lot better in the original voice. So yeah, Life is Beautiful. Definitely check it out. Okay, now I got my Chinese films. First one is a very, very famous film. It's Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. It's directed by Ang Lee, amazing director, and I used to know all the names of the people in it. Yeah, Chow Yun-fat, obviously, but this actress here, I think her name is Chang Zhen. I'm not sure which one's which. Both of these actresses here, they're very famous Chinese actresses. They've been in a lot of films. She was in Memoirs of a Geisha, and she's been in loads and loads and loads of films. Absolutely amazing. Basically, it's a very strange story. It's about, you know, like a very famous Japanese warrior who wants to take a sword and give it to someone, and it's stolen, and they have to try and get it back, and he's betrayed. It's very strange. I haven't seen it for a while, but yeah, definitely worth watching. And the soundtrack is absolutely amazing, and the performances by the actors are absolutely amazing. And Ang Lee, of course, great director. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. And then my other two Chinese films are ones that I recently received from Chris Blue 007, actually amazing guy. He sent these to me, and I hadn't seen them, and when I watched them I was blown away. This is IP Man or Ip Man 1 and 2, the sequel. I haven't seen the third film yet. I really want to check it out. I'm going to pick it up. I absolutely love these two. The first one for me was definitely the better of the two, which is this one, and basically it's about it's a biopic of the Bruce Lee's teacher, and you know, he's a guy who introduced a certain form of martial arts into the world, and basically his story. But what I like about it is that it's got loads of drama, and it's mixed in with the Manchurian War when Japan invaded, and he has to sort of try and protect his family and survive. It's really, really, you know, it's just an amazing film. You know, one of these martial art films where the martial arts can be a bit over the top, but it's got a really good story behind it, and the performances are really good too. So yeah, Ip Man 1 and 2, highly recommended. I'm going to check out the third one. Okay, next one is a Norwegian film, the only Norwegian film I've got. It's probably the most famous in my opinion, which is Troll Hunter. A lot of people have picked this up, it's going cheap on Amazon, but it is a really good film. As you can see by the title, it's about a man who hunts trolls, and it's what do you call it? No, I think it is found footage. I can't remember if it's found footage or they just use a hand cam during the film. But basically, it's about a group of kids that sort of see some things, and they meet up with a man, and he takes them out, troll hunting, and they didn't realise there were the trolls living in Norway. But it sounds a bit stupid, but it's done really well, and it's really exciting, and I really had good fun with it. So yeah, definitely check out Troll Hunter. One of these films that you should see at least once because it's just so thoroughly enjoyable. Okay. Well, I've only got one German film. When I was looking through my collection and I was looking for my German films, I thought, I must have more than one, but I've only got one. So anyway, at least one that's spoken in German, and this is the most famous of all, Downfall, which is an amazing film. It's about, Hitler's last days in his bunker, the ending of the Second World War, and what Hitler and his family did just before, obviously, they were caught, or where Russian troops and American troops arrived in Berlin. Absolutely amazing performance by the man who plays Hitler. I can't remember his name. It's a very long, I don't know if it's Bruno Ganzi or Bruno Gans or something like that. Absolutely amazing. Definitely check this one out. It's really highly recommended. And once again, it's great to see a war film from a different perspective, from a German perspective, and just thoroughly enjoyable. It is a long film, but well worth it. Downfall. Okay, and then I've left my biggest collection for last. Obviously, I live in Spain. I have a sort of a lot of influences from Spanish films, and I do have quite a few. I'm going to go through them. The first one is a very famous film, which is called El Orfanato, which is The Orphanage. It's like a thriller horror about obviously an orphanage and a kid that goes missing. And Belén Rueda, which is a very famous Spanish actress here, she's the one caught up in the middle of it and has to try and sort of solve the disappearance. Really good film, some great jump scares in it, and I watched it in the cinema and absolutely loved it. And as soon as it came out on DVD, I picked it up. Orfanato. This is it's produced by Guillermo del Toro, but the director is Juan Antonio Bayona, and he's the director of Impossible, and I think he's going to direct the new Jurassic Park or Jurassic World sequel. So yeah, great director. Okay, the next one is another famous Spanish film, which is El Laberinto del Fauno, which is Pan's Labyrinth. You probably know about Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth. Can't speak today. Yeah, great film. This is directed by Guillermo del Toro, and basically it's a fantasy, sort of horror fantasy thriller about a girl who sort of lives out in the mountains because her mother, is fallen in love with a general during the Spanish Civil War, and she sort of meets these fairies, and they go on a sort of like they take her to a place where she's told by a I don't know what it's called, like a goat creature, and he tells her that she's got to do some things to try and sort of save his mother and things like that. And it's complete fantasy mixed in with the real Civil War experience of what the Spanish people had to go through, and thoroughly enjoyable. And of course, Guillermo del Toro, you're going to have some great creatures in there, and just a beautiful film. Okay, the next one, I'm going to go through the horrors first. Next one is a film directed by Guillermo Morales, and this was also produced by Guillermo del Toro, I think. Yeah, Guillermo del Toro. And it stars once again Belén Rueda, a very famous Spanish actress, and it's called Los Ojos de Julia, which is Julia's Eyes. And this is a 100% horror film about a woman who sort of loses her sight over time, and as she loses her sight, she's scared and followed by a certain man who hides in the dark and she can't see him, and it's just really a lot of jump scares, but it's a really good a thriller as well, and the ending scene is absolutely amazing, and it's very difficult to tell you a lot about the film without ruining it, but I highly recommend this film. The first scene is absolutely amazing. I saw it in the cinema, scared the hell out of me, and the rest of the film obviously is amazing. Okay, so that's the horror. No, the next one is a comedy called Que se mueren los feos, which is basically loosely translated, the ugly people should die. But it is a comedy, so don't worry about that. And basically it's about this guy here who's a very famous Spanish actor, and he's obviously very ugly. He lives in a small town and he can never get a girlfriend. And basically it follows his life when he falls in love with his brother's wife. And it's just, yeah, complete comedy, and you laugh all the way through. I don't know if this is actually will be translated or you'll have it in English subtitles, but you look it up. Definitely worth a watch. And I laughed my ass off with this. Que se mueren los feos. Okay, the next one is a film directed by Daniel Monzon, which is Zelda 211 or Cell 211. And this is also a very famous actor. This is Luis Tosar, and he does a lot of great films in Spain. And basically it's about a prison riot and a man that gets sort of caught in the prison. They don't know that he's a worker there because he's new on that day, so he has to pretend that he's a prisoner to obviously not get killed. And basically it follows, the story of the riot and what happens during these days of the riot, and the guy who's trying to survive it, trying to pretend that he's a prisoner, has to do a lot of things that he wouldn't have normally done. But, to stay alive, has to do it. It's, a really good film, and once again, the twist ending is really good. Okay, the next one is a very famous film here in Spain, and not a lot of people know it outside of Spain, which is called Mar Adentro, which means the sea inside. And as you can see, it stars Javier Bardem, and it also has the same Spanish woman as I've been telling you in a lot of the films. And basically, it's a biopic about a man who jumped into the water, and the water was very shallow. He ends up, I think paraplegic, and it's about his story and his fight for trying to commit suicide. Obviously, it's a film about euthanasia. Very strong film, but it's a great performance by Javier Bardem. And a lot of people have seen films with Javier Bardem and they've never heard of this film. So I'd really highly recommend it because he plays a different role completely, and he does it really well. Okay, the next film is called Planta 4, or The Fourth Floor, and this kid here, he was a very famous actor in Spain, Ballesta, his name is. And but I haven't seen him in films recently. But when he was young, he was one of these child actors that's famous when they're young, and then when they get older, everyone forgets about him. But this film is really good. It's about some kids that are in hospital and they've got cancer, and it's their last few days before obviously they not all of them, but some of them die, and basically it's them having fun in the hospital and trying to forget about their illness, and it just follows them during the last parts of their life, and it's a really good heartfelt story, but there's some comedy in it as well, and well worth a watch. The Fourth Floor. My last two films, my foreign films, are Torrente 1 and Torrente 3. There are actually 4 Torrente films, but I've only got the first and the third. Don't ask me why. I've probably picked them up cheap. And basically this is starring a very famous man in Spain called Segura. I can't remember his name. Santiago Segura. And basically this is a bit like... what was the name of that? Johnny English, right? Johnny English, who's sort of making fun of James Bond. This is a bit the same, but instead of him being completely stupid, he's really disgusting. He's fat and he burps a lot and he farts a lot and he smokes and has sex with prostitutes and things like that. So it's very similar to Johnny English, but the comedy is a bit different. It's more of a sort of disgusting, stupid James Bond than a smart James Bond. So yeah. Very funny here, they're really famous over here in Spain. Every time a new film comes out, everyone goes to the cinema, it makes a loads of money. I prefer the first and the third, that's why I've got them, but the second one is also enjoyable. So yeah, if you just want a good time and want to see something funny, just check out all of the Torrente films and you'll have a good laugh. So there you go, guys. Oof, the video's gone on a long time, but there you go. If you've got any questions about these films, definitely ask me down below. I will answer them. Obviously, if you're interested in foreign films, check some of these out. They are really good ones. And thanks for staying with me all this time and listening. Take care, guys.